are having a fantastic day. It is Sunday, the last day of Monterey Car Week, which means it is time to head to Pebble Beach. Let's roll. I seriously wish every single day could be Monterey Car Week. I do not want this to end. Check this out, guys. So we are on the way to the concept lawn at Pebble Beach, and I ran into one of the craziest things I have ever seen. This is the only Ferrari engine-powered boat in the entire world, and it actually has an F1 engine that's been up-tuned to 510 horsepower in a boat. This car went 150 miles an hour on the water in 1953. That is amazing. Well, guys, check this out. My first time seeing the Ferrari SF90 in person. This is the most powerful production Ferrari ever made. It's also their first ever plug-in hybrid, and it's all-wheel drive. It's got a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 that alone makes 769 horsepower, but combined with its 3 electric motors for reducing turbo lag, instant torque at 0 RPMs, it makes 986 horsepower. I think it looks really, really good. The front end is so sharp. Got some similarities to the F8 Tributo. On the side, we've got some similarities to the 488. And the rear of this car is stunning. Look at that integrated rear spoiler. Air flows through there. Crazy rear diffuser. Ferrari says it'll do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds and 0 to 124 miles an hour in just 6.7 seconds. I cannot wait to see these out on the road. The interesting part is with the release of the SF90, it kind of renders the F8 Tributo useless. I wonder how many people ordered one of these and then canceled their allocation afterwards to get an SF90 instead. We've got BMW's new concept car, the Vision M, next. I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks, especially next to the beautiful Ford GT Mark II race car. Concept lawn now, checking out some of the latest and greatest from the automotive industry. You guys will recognize this car, which we saw at Geneva, the Bugatti La Voiture Noire, the one-off $13 million Bugatti that's meant to commemorate the Type 57S Atlantic. Bugatti is coming out with so many special edition cars, but cool to see this right after revealing the 110. What do you guys think? Would you take this or the new EB110 successor? That front end is absolutely wild, and the rear of the La Voiture Noire with all of its exhaust pipes. Look at that. It doesn't get old seeing the Lotus Evija in person, the most powerful production car in the world, 1,972 horsepower from its all-electric powertrain. But the crazy part is how fast this car accelerates. So Bugatti just announced with the 110 that with the extra 100 horsepower, it would be able to do 0 to 186 miles an hour in 13.1 seconds. This car, 0 to 186 in just 8.6 seconds. How wild is that? The rear of the Evija is absolutely amazing. We've got these holes that allows airflow from the side of the car out the rear taillights for extra downforce. I love the styling on this car. New compact concept car from Genesis. Check out the rear hatch here. Look how the doors open up in the back, and the interior on this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the leather bench style seating. I guess that flips up. Potentially you could fit a third person in there. The steering wheel looks awesome. Look at that. Beautiful Wyra BC Roadster. Here's something I never thought I'd see before, a concept supercar from Karma, the company that used to be Fisker, then they reinvented themselves and became Karma. But let's take a look at this. It's called the SC1 Vision. Take a look at the interior. Look at that steering wheel. All of the forged carbon accents. That is crazy. This car gets me every time. The design of this and the color combination is so cool. Imagine a road legal conversion of one of these. Getting another look at the new 110. This car is insane from the rear. Just left the Pebble Beach Concord to head over to the Hennessey house to get a ride in the Venom GT. Let's go check this car out because it is absolutely sick. So we are here with my buddy Alex from Hennessey, about to go for a ride in the Venom GT for the first time. I'm so unbelievably excited. This thing is crazy.
How long have you been waiting for this?
A while.
Heck
Last time I visited you guys, did a bunch of reviews on your cool cars. I really wanted to ride in this, but it wasn't ready at the time, so yeah. I'm pretty psyched.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. So let's take a little walk around. So what can you tell my audience about the Venom GT?
So this is the Hennessey Venom GT. It's basically our first edition of the Ultimate Series hypercar from Hennessey Performance and Hennessey Special Vehicles. So the idea kind of started with John Hennessey and thinking, well, how do we create the ultimate car for ultimate speed with lightweight and the most power we can think of? So what if we put a twin turbo Viper motor in a Lotus? And he kind of drew it out like literally on the back of a napkin, and that's kind of how the idea was born. And it ended up being what the Venom GT is today. It ended up a little bit different from what the original ideas were, but nonetheless, it is one of the most intense, crazy, and raw vehicles that I've ever seen, been a part of, driven, and gotten to experience. And I know you guys have seen the videos, so it's pretty radical. But essentially what we've got here is it's a twin turbo V8 making about 1,244 horsepower. It weighs about 1,244 kilos, about 2,800 pounds. So it's very lightweight, about a little more than a 1-to-1 ratio on horsepower per kilo. And it's a Ricardo 6-speed manual. So basically, I know everyone thinks that it comes from a Lotus. It does start as a Lotus, and what we keep from the Lotus is basically just the cockpit. Everything in front of the windshield and behind the back window is all brand new. Carbon fiber body, steel tube chassis, just the ultimate car. So basically going forward is our Venom F5, and that's kind of the culmination of everything we learned from this car poured into the F5 with the goal of ultimate top speed and just being the world's fastest is the ultimate goal. So this car behind me in specific is a Venom F5 test mule. So basically what we've got is the Venom F5 powertrain is going into this car, and we're gonna be doing some testing and just perfecting our drivetrain for the F5, which will be out later this year. So let's take it for a spin. It's gonna be sick. I am
so down. So this car, for you guys who are unfamiliar, in 2014 set the world record for top speed of a production car of 270.5 miles an hour, topping the Bugatti Veyron Supersport. It was later beat by Koenigsegg, but now Hennessey is going back at it again with the Venom F5, gunning for 300 miles an hour. This thing is capable of doing 0 to 186 miles an hour in 13.49 seconds. And I think it doesn't have traction control, right?
No traction control.
So no traction control, rear wheel drive, manual transmission with 1,244 horsepower. All right, let's go. So this car actually still holds the record for the fastest open top car. They ran it with the roof off, and it hit a top speed of 265 miles an hour. I love the lines on this car, the wide body in the front with those gaping air vents. And then around back, we've got that massive wing and crazy rear diffuser. This wrap is actually epic. Let's go ahead on the inside. Let's check out the inside of the Venom GT. We've got quilted leather and Alcantara seats. Very simple in here, and look, a 6-speed manual transmission. All right, about to witness a cold start in a Venom GT.
Let's do it.
the car, which most supercars and hypercars don't actually have a lift that does the whole vehicle. All right, guys, so we are in the Venom GT for the first time, and it is immediately apparent how raw and visceral the experience in this car is. It is so violent.
Wait, what'd you say?
We can barely have a conversation in here because the engine is so loud. That 7-liter twin turbocharged V8 mounted right there. And a manual transmission, rear-wheel drive with no traction control. It doesn't get much crazier than that.
It's the best of all time until the F5, baby. This thing is crazy.
It's wild. So this car is actually going to become the test mule car for the new F5. So you guys are putting that powertrain in this car.
Yeah.
What are the power figures and transmission options, engine options for the new F5?
Yeah, so the Venom F5 is going to be at least 1,600 horsepower. I kind of like to refer to us as the horsepower kings, so we definitely have the horsepower thing on lock. It is sorted out. We have the capabilities of much more, but we just want to do whatever it takes to achieve our top speed number, which is at least 300. So excited to do more of that. And then the transmission will be a 7-speed single clutch.
Gotcha.
You know, to handle lots of power, of course. And the displacement has changed a little bit. I think the finalized displacement, if I'm correct, is a 6.5-liter twin turbo V8. So John Hennessey has all the details. There's actually a podcast that Hennessey Performance has that has a lot of those details. So check that for reference. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be wicked. Our first production car, customer car, is going to be ready at the end of this year. And
wow.
We're really excited for that. And it's going to be a wild year, 2020.
So you got a press car you can loan me for a year that I can just take out?
Yeah.
Hit 300 on the PCH?
Yeah. You want to make it just 2 years?
Yeah, just permanently. And so that car, you can also get it with the manual transmission, the F5?
We are offering it as an option, but the standard is the auto.
Gotcha. Oh my god. That is ridiculous. And I can tell that was nowhere near full throttle.
Yeah.
So what is traction like in a car like this? I mean, is it fighting for traction all the way up to 200 miles an hour?
Good question. This car actually really puts the power down super well for having as much power as it does. I think really the only time you're losing traction really hard is probably first gear and like the middle of second gear.
Gotcha.
Once you get into third and you're at a higher speed, I mean, it handles the power really well.
How's the steering feel? Is it light or heavy? Or?
Yeah, it has a really nice steering feel. I'd say it's definitely on the heavier side for sure. But I feel like you feel really in control of this car. You know, as crazy as that sounds. But this car, you know, is a little bit older at this point, but is very driver focused. Like there's nothing in here to distract you. It's just you and your gear shifting.
Yeah, so I actually got to experience a virtual reality tour of the new F5 at their party the other day. It was really cool putting on the headset and seeing the new interior is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that car.
Me too, for sure. I know you guys are too, so stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do some videos with the F5. Well, hopefully we can find a little gap and open this thing up a little bit, because I am excited to experience 1,244 horsepower in a 2,700 pound car.
Get in and
out of the front windshield with this beautiful quilted leather here. The hood dips down right away, so you actually feel like you're pretty far forward in the car. Good visibility. I like the steering wheel too.
Yeah.
Very, very simple interior. But this car is all about speed and rawness. And of course, that amazing manual transmission. The sound this car makes, oh my God. This is epic, guys. The turbo's whistling behind me. I love this thing. Pulling back into the house now. That car looks so crazy. I can't get over the looks and the sound. Well guys, that was absolutely insane. It is hard to convey how raw and how intense this car is. Definitely one of the fastest accelerating vehicles I have ever experienced, and it was on a low boost setting. How wild is that? I'm excited. I definitely have to go back out to Hennessey's facility and drive some more of their cars, and when the F5 comes out, that is gonna be absolutely crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.